So we're talking about graphing rational functions again. This time we're talking about domain and range. We are going to say the domain and range differently than how we've been saying it before. Typically, we would say all real numbers as a phrase. If we wanted to say all real numbers again here, another way to say that is from negative infinity to positive infinity. So what this notation is called is interval notation. Parentheses are used to say that numbers are not part of the set. So negative infinity is not a number. I cannot tell you how much negative infinity is. It is not an actual value. And positive infinity is not an actual value either. So those get parentheses. If it was like the function just stops at 3, I would use brackets. So those are these ones to show that it is part of the set. And then if I have two pieces, so like it has to break for an asymptote, I use the symbol U to show that the two sets together represent the full possible values. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the asymptotes we found on 7.2 day 1 to say my domain and range. So I'm going to put this off to the side right there. So for number 1, I know that my asymptote is 0. That means it never crosses 0. So the way I write my domain is I am going to do negative infinity, comma 0. So it goes to 0, and then it stops, and then it starts up again, because it doesn't actually touch 0, and then it goes back on to positive infinity. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my range right there, because this one, domain and range, was the same value. So it's going to go from negative infinity to 0, goes on to 0 to positive infinity. Looking at number 2, my x asymptote was negative 2, so my domain is going to be negative infinity to negative 2, unioned with negative 2 to positive infinity. Then my range was at y equals 0, so I'm going to have negative infinity to 0, unioned with 0 to positive infinity. Same thing for number 3. So I want to take my asymptote values from yesterday. So this one, it's going to break at 3. So it's going to go from negative infinity to 3, unioned with 3 to positive infinity. And then same thing for range, except it breaks at 2. So I'll do this so I can keep writing. So I have range is negative infinity to 2, unioned with 2 to positive infinity. Okay, so just like day 1, I'm going to give you a few seconds to pause the video so you can work ahead on the next 3, and then I can work on those and show you the answers in a few seconds. So here I had for number 4 on yesterday's, my asymptotes were at 0, 0. So my breaks are going to be at 0. So domain is negative infinity to 0, unioned with 0 to positive infinity. Range is the same thing on this specific problem. Okay. Then I want to do number 5. My x asymptote yesterday was x equals 1, and my y asymptote was y equals 0. So my domain is going to be to positive 1. It breaks as a union goes on. Then my range is going to be negative infinity to 0, and 0 to positive infinity. For 6, my x asymptote was negative 2. So for my domain, I'm going to go to negative infinity to negative 2, and then negative 2 to positive infinity. My range is going to be from negative infinity. Oh, I forgot to say my asymptote. My y asymptote was 3, so it goes from negative infinity to 3, unioned with 3 to positive infinity.